The meeting of the Joint Committee on Public Employee Retirement will now begin. Sir, would you please call the roll?
Senator Beck, Senator Burstucker, Senator Fitzwater, Senator Moon, Senator Rizzo, Senator Williams, Representative Bosley, Representative Paula Brown of the 87, Representative Richard Brown, Representative Hovis,
Present.
Representative Reedy, Representative West.
Good morning. Thank you for all that are here, including our visitors who came to view us today. Obviously, I'll just kind of go over a little bit of overview here. Being part of the Joint Committee on Public Employee Retirement, we are required to meet, I believe, quarterly. So this is going to be the fulfillment of one of those quarterly meetings that we wanted to try to get in. And we know it's the last week of session. There's a lot of things going on. Many members from the Senate are still, I guess, currently in their meetings over there and going on. So we didn't know how big of a crew we'd have here today to go over this. So I'll kind of give you an overview. We're not going to have anything that's going to require a quorum to vote on, so we'll be able to just take the reports that we've got them and place them on the record. We're going to be doing, we have some updates on the quarterly investment reporting, a legislative update, probably a market update. We've got some new staff we want to introduce today, and that'll be one of the things we do. Any action items, which we've got the MAPERS conference coming up. I think he's going to go over that to see if anyone's still interested in going to that. They still have time to sign up, and then we'll close out from that. So, Michael, please begin when you're ready.
All right. I am Robert Coleman.
Robert, sorry.
And I am the new executive director. I know everyone has a lot going on right now, so I'll try to make this brief. What I'm presenting to you is the quarterly investment report. And if you open it up, you will notice there is a whole lot of returns this quarter, which is what we want to see, which is a great mirror image of what we may have seen in the 2022 annual report or 2024 annual report, which was not a good year on those plans, which was reporting in 2022. Most of these plans, including the big ones that's had double-digit returns. For example, prosecuting attorneys had 13.75% returns. Peers had a 12.1, including PSRS. St. Louis St. Louis Police had a 13.8. They were actually they're related to one of the bills that we have tracking right now. Sheriffs had a fantastic return of the 9.5. In general, it was a fantastic quarter. Primarily what caused this was gains in equities in the market. One thing that didn't perform too well during the market was more fixed income bonds, stuff of that nature. The S&P 500, Russell 2000, which was mid-cap, and Dow Jones, they all broke records, hitting all new time highs. Other things that may have affected this would be all the industries, such as the tech and logistic industry, both had record-breaking earnings quarters. I'm talking Amazon, Tesla, and even in the banking world, Bank of America had a record-breaking quarter. So it was a good time for everyone. Nothing in terms of concern is hitting the JCPR in terms of the market yet. So if you have any questions, I can move on. Go ahead.
I do have one, Robert. Has there been anyone added to the watch list, or is that something that's done annually? And
that's something that's done annually, and I will know as soon as we're done with the annual surveys. Those are reported in.
Was there any systems that got through here that had negative returns this past quarter?
No, there was only a couple that didn't hit their assumed return, but if they didn't hit it, it was by a very small margin.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that update. Any other questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, you may move forward. Thank you.
All right. So on to the legislative update. There are 11 bills that we are tracking that actually have a chance to make it through. Of those 11, one did. That is Senate Bill 727. That is the bill that was carried by Koenig that modifies the provisions when it comes to working after retirement. That is waiting to be signed by the governor, so it has made it past the finish line. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was signed, yes. Another big one that's moving through, and it's still waiting to be third read, is Senate Bill 898. This is the one that has to do, with employee trustees and terms on retirement's board. Hold on.
Yeah, we heard that bill yesterday in the House side. It
Yeah.
deals with loggers and several other, the system's making some minor changes, and some that are more things in there. And there was several amendments added to that yesterday too, so it's been sent to the Senate. We'll see where it
Yeah, the
goes.
relevant amendments relate to Senate Bill 877, House Bill 2064, and House Bill 2657. That's, do you have any questions regarding that bill? Senate Bill 898?
Mr. Chairman, comment?
Please
No,
proceed.
No, I think that bill's gonna make it. They, let me preside as the speaker yesterday when that bill came up, so, we made sure that it get across. It's gonna make it.
Cool. Very good. Another bill that's very important is SCR 71. This has to do with levying certain costs and fees to support the salaries and benefits of sheriffs. This is part of that funding mechanism we found to correct the loss of funding that the sheriff's retirement system lost in 2021. Jumping over to the House, one of the one that we're really watching is House Bill 2431. This has to do the cleanup language for loggers. Once again, this has Senate Bill 877 writing on it and Senate Bill 2657 writing on it, as well as House Bill 2288 writing on it. It's waiting to be third read and passed. We'll see what happens in that regard. I have optimism if they pass that one. So,
Let me interrupt. I think we have a question from Representative Brown. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Morning, Robert. SJC 71, is there any anticipation that this will be challenged in court again?
that is actually the hope, that will not be challenged in the court again. In fact, I think the language for it was specifically
Yeah.
worded that way to avoid that.
Okay, so if it is challenged, and this is just because I'm really unclear on what happens when a law gets signed and then it gets challenged in court, will it stop and wait, like hold its place until the court challenge is over, or will it move forward until the court challenge is over?
I believe that would depend on what the court does in terms of, they have two options. They can freeze it until they decide where to go on this, or they can let it continue until there is a judgment.
Okay.
So it depends on what the court does in that regard.
Okay, and then will the sheriff still put into their retirement? Right now, they're making.
Oh, yes, they will
Okay.
still be paying into their retirement.
All right.
So it will be a blow, but it's something that can be handled over time. We'll have time to make adjustments if this gets knocked down as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll kind of address that a little bit more. The SCR 71, we will be hearing that heard. It's going to be on the calendar for this week on the House side. If it does pass, then it'll be sent to the voters. It will not be up to us. Just because we pass it, it's not becoming law. If the voters agree to clear up the language that identifies the sheriff and the prosecutors are included in this as part of the administration of justice. That's where the snafu was with the last lawsuit. They did not feel they were part of the administration of justice. If the people of the state of Missouri vote and decide that they are part of the administration of justice, then that would bring in the statutes that are currently in place in the law, where it's set that $3 fee, I believe, for the sheriffs, $3 or $4 fee, and there's also a fee set for the prosecutors. So if it was appealed, I don't know how they would do that. It would have to be after the election, depending on if we pass it and send it to the voters of the state of Missouri. Hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and in terms of any other legislation, those are the big ones we're watching. If you have any other questions, we can move on.
No, seeing none, you may move forward.
All right, So just a quick market update, and this has to do with things that plans definitely are paying attention to. We still have relatively high inflation levels. Powell's recent briefing to the nation hinted that he is not going to increase or decrease the federal interest rate for a while. That means the plans that have an assumed inflation will most likely have to kind of look at that as a factor now. Another thing that helps drive inflation is personal income and personal consumption. Both of those in Q1 have increased, helping drive that slight increase in inflation we saw in the first quarter from 3.15 to 3.5. That's where that's coming. And unemployment has still remained at 3.9, so that's still really good employment numbers, but it's just something to be cautiously optimistic about. We're getting good returns on our investments for a lot of these plans, but it's wise to kind of keep an eye on what's going on with those the inflation. That's it for that.
Any questions from any members of the board? Has there been any updates from the Fed where they've talked about the national debt? I asked this to that group here, a month and a half, 2 months ago here, and they didn't have an official comment, but they said that the Fed president had kind of addressed that was something that they were watching. Have you heard any comments on that?
I believe I know what you're talking about. I can't recall the gentleman's name, but yes, there has been talk about the federal debt and how there probably needs to be a clawback on that in terms of spending. But once again, if you're able to manage inflation over time and continue to have it go down to the target of 2.25, that becomes more manageable as well, the debt itself. So,
thank you. I guess the next action item we have is staff update, and I'm going to let you introduce the new gentleman that has been brought into the office there to work with you, if you would want to do that, Robert.
So in the back, if you can stand up, sir, this is Chris Sheppers. He is the new pension analyst. He will be the one working and sending out requests for annual surveys. Sorry. He's the one that they get to give a hard time to whenever he's asking for something on a deadline. So,
Well, I'd like to officially say welcome to the committee here. I hear you're going to be much better than the last guy we had there, so we'll see how that turns out.
I hope so.
Well, anyway. But thank you guys for bringing him here and introducing him to us. I appreciate the work you did on that. Just to kind of give an overview of the committee, staff hires is done at his position here at the level of the ones that work under him. Obviously, he consulted, and then I just wanted to make sure the board was updated on that. And I thought he did a really good job by sending stuff out. I think there was 3 people that interviewed, and all of them had excellent qualifications. And this is the gentleman that was selected, and I wish you well. So, okay, we'll move on. I don't think there's any action items I'm aware of. Did we have anything to speak on?
no, not now. Currently, I'm trying to find something for training for our new pension analyst, but I think that's going to probably come around in October, so it's something I'll probably bring up next meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much, Director Coleman. As far as comments to the chair, we want to keep this meeting short. There's a lot going on here. I'm very happy if the ones that's able to come out. I will probably in the future, but I can do it today. If there's any comments from any of the people in our pension system here where they have concerns, please let us know. We'll try to address them if anything moves forward with that. And other than that, if there's any comments from any of the members? Yes, Representative Brown. Oh, I do want to say something. Go ahead, Representative Brown.
As this is my last meeting on this committee, I think I've been on this committee for 6 years. So we've had great staff, great leaders in this, and I think we've done some good work, and I've enjoyed being with you all.
Yeah, I want to compliment you. It's been very much of a privilege for me to be able to serve with you. We've been in together for 6 years, and I've served with you on this committee here. You were here before I was, but I appreciate all the expertise and knowledge that you brought to the system, and I wish you well in whatever your future endeavors are. Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you for attending.